Welcome into the Spiritual Evolution podcast. Welcome into the Spiritual Evolution podcast. I wanted to preface this brief talk I'll be giving in this podcast with the fact that I am not a spiritual teacher. I am not someone who can directly perceive the things of spiritual science. And a lot of the work that I do is based on indications from Rudolf Steiner and spiritual science. My intention is never to interfere with anyone's will or anyone's decision or anyone's way of life or living. Most of my work comes from spiritual science, and it is interpreted through my own viewpoint, as well as interpreted through the happenings of the outer world that we're currently in. And I hope that that is understandable. We live in a time of great opportunity for knowledge and wisdom. But if that knowledge and wisdom is not put into the right context, it can become Ahrimanic or Luciferic. Rudolf Steiner, during his time, explained how machines doing human work had reached almost 1/3 of the human population. Now we see this machine capability exponentially higher. These machines carry and are imbued and made possible by Ahrimanic beings. With artificial intelligence, we are seeing at least 10x the human population in these beings, capable of taking on human work and contributing directly to GDP and the economy. We should be humbled that we are being entrusted by spiritual beings to be incarnated at this time, a time of a true battle and destruction of the human being. Steiner mentions that for every Ahrimanic being on Earth, an equivalent Luciferic being must also be there to balance them out. So we must be aware ourselves how to find the balance between these two beings, since they are much more prevalent now and have an impact on us directly. Christ is the balance point, but it doesn't mean that we can avoid Lucifer and Ahriman in our own lives. Steiner was very clear that we must view our inner life objectively, as if we are looking at the outer world with a cold, dispassionate, Ahrimanic viewpoint. Our self-interest and brooding on our inner life has been indicated by spiritual science as being strongly Luciferic. This doesn't only manifest in our own overvaluing of ourselves, but can result in anger, annoyance towards others, qualities which may actually be our own. It's very easy to be thrown back into our own inner world now because the outer world is so destructive and broken down by Ahrimanic forces. It's easy to turn away from the outer world. To even get anything done work-wise, you have to interface directly with these forces through email, YouTube, Zoom, your phone, etc., which are a hindrance to our health in many cases. We also live in a time where anything we want is easy to attain. Renunciation, holding back before purchasing, has become much more difficult. Our inner passions, desires, Luciferic tendencies are made realities through the Ahrimanic technological society we live in today. Amazon, Uber, etc. make our fantasies become reality, and our thought becomes a will impulse without discerning and pausing to make a decision in our feeling life, which is where Christ holds the balance. Now, let's think of the other side, the Ahrimanic, where to balance out these forces, we must take an interest in the outer world and attempt to guide the outer world or outer topic of interest into the right channel or right direction for the good of the world. We must take our Luciferic fire, passion, and interest and direct it to the outer world based on spiritual scientific indications. This is what we must do in our age today. When the outer world is so broken, this can be naturally difficult. In reality, this is why mental health and mental health issues have become so prevalent. Because people are not finding their path of which to take interest in. They are then increasingly focused on their inner life and problems and attempt to solve them subjectively, taking a strong interest in solving their own problems rather than the problems of the world. This lazy, objective view of the outer world is why problems continue in the world and economy, culture, politics breaks down. We allow it to happen, and we focus on the distractions, fantasy books, sports, TV shows, etc. There are millions of ways to distract yourself nowadays. Social media, anything that you can think of as a distraction nowadays. There are many distractions. Christ is the great balancer because Christ emanates love and interest for the world, all while taking on unfathomable suffering within. Christ bears our inner suffering, our guilt, our sin. Christ works on us inwardly over long periods of time through multiple incarnations, and can do so because he understands our suffering intimately after incarnating into a human being for 3 years. This is why we can put our trust in Christ to transform us inwardly and to help us emanate love for our neighbor, who in reality is us. Christ as the ultimate true self, or I am, is in everything around us, which leads us to have interest in the world. Ultimately, to fulfill the goal of Earth evolution, we need to love one another as if they were ourselves, balancing the Luciferic and Ahrimanic and developing inwardly through Christ's teachings. Ultimately, the mystery of Golgotha teaches us how to overcome our problems by dying to our own inner impulses and transforming them to loving acts or deeds for the world. We can say, not I, but Christ in me. The physical world will continue to decline, but our spiritual capability is on the rise. It is just a matter of transforming the wisdom given to us by high spiritual beings through Rudolf Steiner's anthroposophy into love, out of full individuality and sacrifice.